He is a legend, Mr. Dan Hughes. Are you okay if we sit next to you? Is that all right? Sure. All right, dear, sit next to him.
No,
he wants you to sit next to him. Nobody can see you on the camera.
That's all right.
All right, bring the microphone behind and stand then. Right. Dan, do you need something to put your book on? I'm not going to ask anything too hard, so you have to worry about the book.
I thought I might have some reference here.
All right, you can put your book right on this stool right next to you.
Here.
And then if you need it, you can grab it.
Okay.
So grab that mic. And the first thing I want to do, Dan, is say thank you so much for coming on. I know that you and I have been trying to connect for an interview for the longest time, and you were a little under the weather before this nasty COVID thing hit, and then all of a sudden the COVID thing hit, so you're all locked up in your house, right? So how are you doing, first of all?
Well, I'm doing all right physically.
Well, you look fantastic.
Emotionally, I'm not so sure. This COVID-19 is.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
It has, let us say, it's become a bit tedious. I mean, I feel like I'm in prison. You know.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital, but that was for a uterine tract infection, and so I'm fine with that. But I sure would. I'm just like everyone else. We're
getting a little cabin fever.
Yeah, I would say yes, definitely.
So Dan, I'm going to try and do something here so that everybody else can see it. I hope it works. I'm going to share my screen.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry if you guys are seeing that.
How long have you been a resident of Fort Myers Beach?
Oh, about 40 years.
Just a mere 40 years?
Yeah.
And then you served as the mayor and on the town council. How many years collectively for community service have you put in the city government, town government?
The town's been, the town's been in, 24 years? I was involved the first 8 years, 2 years on the LPA drafting the comp plan.
Right.
Then 6 years we worked on the land development code. And that was 8 years. And those 6 years, I was on the council and mayor 4 of those years. And then I've been on I was on CELCAB, and I was on a number of ad hoc committees. And then I've been on the LPA again for about the last 6 or 7 years. So of the 24 years, about 15 or 16 of them, I've been directly involved.
So Dan, before we talk about some of the stuff that you're involved with, your 90th birthday was.
Oh dear.
Was it like a?
Why did you have your birthday? your most recent birthday.
I've never met somebody as smart and as wise as you at 90. What was that like when I was trying to show it on Facebook? If you guys, it's on your daughter's page. There was a video. The people in the community did a parade down your street because your birthday was when COVID was going on. So you couldn't really have. I'm sure it would have been a party where the beach couldn't hold the number of people to come. But what was it like to see? Did you know there was going to be a parade coming down the street?
I did not. I was told that the neighbors were going to congregate in my driveway, just the neighbors. And because we'd had several other neighborhood congregations like that for other events, and I said, well, that's fine. Let's keep it simple. And the next thing, we got a bunch of people are there, and the next thing I know, I hear the sirens going, and here comes the fire truck, and a sheriff's car, and it was very impressive. I was overwhelmed, actually. I was very honored by that, but it was that
was a nice surprise. Yeah.
It was.
What does it? How does it feel like? You know that you made an impact on a community, you have for so many years, but when you see what you saw, like, you saw Anita come by and stop. I mean, I was watching the video. You see all these people that you've had an impact on in this community, and you've been here since its incorporation and before that, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And you were the mayor back in the early days. I mean, how does it feel that you've played such a important role in molding the community to what it is today?
Well, I feel it feels good. I'm honored by that, and I'm honored that people recognize my role. But that I played, such as it is. I was always, of course, had some wonderful people I worked with all along. It's not like I, was doing things on my own. I was always with a committee or a town council, and I've worked with some wonderful people over the years, and some very, very intelligent, articulate people.
Politics is such an ugly thing sometimes, but you've been able to
rise above,
manage that where you repel it. How do you do that?
Oh, I guess just because I'm a sweet, lovable guy.
That's for sure, man. For sure. So,
back when you were, developing the land code and getting things organized, did you envision then this how it transpired to now, or what was your vision of Fort Myers Beach at that time, and is it different now?
No, I think we did envision what it is now, except the I don't think we didn't envision the development of the single family the huge single family residences that have developed. We really, I think the vision of most of the residents of the community pretty much like the way the residential community was as it existed, with the smaller homes and the cottages and so forth. But times changed, and it's something that we can't really do much about,
right,
except try to minimize the side yard setbacks and the rear yard setbacks and the height, and the LPA and the town council have been addressing those matters.
Are you happy with what's going on down in this area? Like the hotel that'll someday, Margaritaville will someday come in, and there's been some politics involved in that. But are you happy that that's what we'll see in a few years?
Yes, I think so. Obviously, I'm unhappy with the way this area has been since Hurricane Charlie. So it's been like 14, 15 years, and we haven't had a good front to our community, and so I think that'll be a good catalyst for development. And I'm not concerned about a lot of the people's concerns about the traffic and so forth. I think it'll be a positive thing for our community. I was, of course, for the Margaritaville and on the LPA, and I think in the long run, it's in the best interest of the town.
Now, I was reading up on all of your accolades, and what was it like back when you got the Humanitarian Award, which was a few years back?
Yes.
But that's big.
Yes. Well.
Humbled?
Well, yeah. My favorite saying that I've repeated ad nauseum is that I'm a very humble person, but I have no reason to be.
I don't think that's quite true. I was also reading how you donated the money that you earned when you were on town council for I don't know how many years, and distributed it among the 7 churches that were on the island at that time.
Yes, I did at that time. Yes.
And so church and the Mound House are two of the things that are very dear to your heart.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the Mound House. I was mayor when we acquired it. Of course, the groundwork had been done by people before me, Anita and others, and I. But the Mound House property is very dear to me and my wife, and we had that room that I dedicated to her,
mm-hmm.
and then I was also mayor when we acquired the Newton property, and the other major thing that when I was mayor was the acquisition of the mooring field, and we had to appear before the governor and his cabinet in Tallahassee to get approval for that, and that was a difficult feat to accomplish, and a very important thing for the community.
Now, with regards to the mooring field, it appears they're looking to extend that.
Yes, I'm not too familiar with that, except what I've read that they yes they are, and that would be good if they could extend that. Yes, but they'd have to get extend the what they call the submerged land lease from the state of Florida, because the state of Florida, even though our the town owns the municipal boundary of the town is 1,000 feet from the island. The seabed is owned by the state. So you have to get a land lease to do anything on that, even though it's within the municipal boundary line.
So, Dan, last week I was watching the audit committee meet, which you're the chair of.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you're supposed to be the chair of from listening to the meeting, but you're the chair. It's like you've been doing this for so many years. Now you're on the audit committee with all these numbers and these budgets. And why aren't you relaxing? Why are you still doing things like that? What is it that's keeping you involved? Are you still on the LPA, or can you only be on one at a time?
No, I'm still on the LPA.
Oh, so you're on two.
Yes.
One's not enough.
Why?
Those two happen to be the only statutory committees of the town that are actually mandated by law, the LPA and the audit committee. The other committees are all voluntary committees that the town may or may not create. There has to be an audit committee. There has to be an LPA, and I happen to be on both of those mandatory committees. Why I stay on them, I don't know. Masochism, I guess.
But I watch the meetings. I'm like, man, that man's 90 and he's ripping off numbers like like you're 35 years old. What is it? Your secret is really what I want to know.
What is your secret?
Gosh, I don't know. If I had things to do over again, I probably would have done a lot of things over again. Like the old story, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself.
I don't think there's any better.
I think that's the point. You have taken very good care of yourself. So
specifically on the audit committee, there was some confusion, in all seriousness, that Mayor Murphy should have been the chair, or what's going on with that?
I haven't seen that. Apparently, there's an amendment to the statute. I have not seen that, and that was brought up by the Andre Heidegger, the staff, saying that there's been an amendment and that the mayor should be the chair of that committee. So that's interesting. We'll have to. Well, if that's the case, why then he is the liaison at this point anyway. I suppose he could sit whenever the audit committee is functioning in its specific statutory duty of recommending who the auditor is going to be.
Okay.
The audit committee has been assigned other duties that are not required by statute, that go beyond the statutory mandate, so that I think that the mayor could sit in when we really have the meeting, the annual meeting to appoint the auditor, and then for the rest of the year, the investment, like this last issue on the investment policy or the budget policy or whatever, those matters could be addressed without him having to chair the meeting.
I'm only going to ask you one serious question, and then we'll get back to the fun stuff. But you were on the LPA, or you're still on the LPA, when the dune walkover was approved unanimously by the LPA. Yes. And that's become a pretty big issue in the community. It's kind of split on the council, I think, about whether or not that should be approved. And I know you have some thoughts on the dune walkover behind Mr. Root's house. Can you tell us what they are?
What's the question?
Can you tell us how do you believe he should have Mr. Root and Mr. Cromer should have a dune walkover? They should get approved for the special exception.
Well, yes, I voted for it on the LPA, and I haven't changed my position on that. It was unanimously approved at the LPA, and incidentally, in those 17 years or whatever that I talked about earlier, I can't ever recall a situation where there was a unanimous vote by the LPA that was reversed by the town council. That may have happened, but there have been times, of course, when the town council has reversed the LPA, and they have that right. But I don't recall ever it being a unanimous. But my position hasn't changed. I was concerned about the fact that one of the council members indicated that she discounted the opinion of the LPA because the Audubon Society hadn't been present. Well, that to me is a very specious argument. I mean, it's her duty to listen to everybody, all the testimony, and to be told as an LPA member that the hours that you spent and the hundreds of pages that you reviewed, and then to have a councilman say she discounted the testimony because the Audubon Society wasn't present. It wasn't our fault they weren't present. And it's rather, she said, well, they didn't get notice. Well, to me, that's rather a naive. She doesn't know that as a fact. That's an assumption. And to me, it's a rather naive assumption because they've been involved, totally involved with the town for 2 years on the litigation with the administrative law judge, and all of a sudden they don't show up for the LPA meeting. So I was a little taken aback by that. Although I have to add that I want to say that Rexanne Hassefras has obviously I'm referring to. I admire and brings a lot to the table, and she's a smart, articulate lady and fellow attorney, and I just don't agree with her on this issue.
What worries you as far as the town goes if this drags on? What do you hear? What do you think might happen if this drags on in a lawsuit?
Well, there's two risks involved. There's the risk of the litigation of the Burt Harris Act, and the costs of that and losing that case. There's going to be considerable costs involved, one way or the other. And then there's the suit to quiet title that could affect the critical wildlife area, and that's a more serious issue, and that could be very, very, very a very bad precedent if that should occur. So it's a gamble. It's a serious gamble that the town is taking by proceeding here.
Do you think the town is getting good advice by taking the gamble?
I think they needed to discuss the matter in more detail and analyze the risks a little more carefully.
Jim Adderholt, who's now a council member, was on the LPA with you at the time that you voted unanimously. And you can see at the last meeting, he kind of struggled with the whole conversation, but he did say he didn't think he didn't think they should stop, as far as the town goes, pursuing the lawsuit and moving forward with that. I'm rephrasing. I'm totally messing that up, but he almost said, let's continue, at least see what the quiet title turns up. What advice do you have for him?
Well, I was disappointed in Jim's position because he favored the approval at the time on the LPA, and obviously he's had some second thoughts about it, and he has that right. But I'm not sure that he's given it. He's getting all the best advice that he should be getting from the staff.
I thought you said only one serious question and moving on to some fun stuff.
I wanted to get that issue out. I should have said one issue, but go ahead.
No, I noticed that you have the golf shirt on. Are you doing a lot of golfing?
No, unfortunately, I miss it quite a bit. My balance is just terrible, and I used to play quite well. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I get the opportunity
to say question, right?
that at my country club where my family been members for since 1931, four generations.
Wow.
Olympia Fields Country Club is now holding, as we speak, the BMW tournament, and it's on TV. And if the Cook County, Illinois, hadn't put people from Florida on quarantine, I would be up there watching that tournament. My son lives on the golf course. My dad was a member. I was a member. My son's a member. My two grandsons are a member. And my country club, you want to watch it if you get a chance. It's a beautiful country club, Olympia Fields, a suburb of Chicago. And that tournament's going on right now.
Are you going to continue sitting on boards and in the government here in Fort Myers Beach for as long as you can?
Ed, I don't know if I'm going to continue anything. I don't know how long I can continue anything, but no, I would say that I'm on my last term of whatever term I'm on any of the boards. I'm just not as articulate and clever and witty as I once was.
Yeah,
Please.
Yes, you are.
All of the above. I would agree with her
Yes,
for once.
you are.
What you've seen so much change from the early days when you were here. I mean, talk about some of that. What you've seen. Most people probably coming down to visit had no idea this was a road, and I know that hasn't even been too long that the tables were out there. But I mean, much more than that you've seen. What stands out the most to you about the change?
About the change? Oh, I would say the huge mansions that are being built is the biggest change. The and ironically, in the area where I live, you were only allowed to build a one-story house by covenant, and now you can't build a one-story house. It's got to be at least 3 stories. So that's really the biggest change, and it's altered the ambience of the town very definitely. Definitely.
Because the town started, I mean, way back. It was a little fishing community. Is that, kind of humble homes and.
Yeah. Yeah, the street ended down by Ascension Church. It didn't go any further than that. There was no bridge at the south end. When we first started coming down here, they still had the turn bridge, and I guess as all people, as they get older, they reminisce and they
harken back.
Harken back. I like the good old days, but time marches on.
But you haven't been afraid to adapt to the change too, like you say. You're in charge of Margaritaville.
No, I haven't been afraid to, but I don't have any option either.
Yeah. So I know this is probably going to be a question that some people hate, but when it's all said and done, when people look back at Dan Hughes and what he's done, what will they say?
What was it?
What will they say? What do you want people to say about you when you're all, done with, you're sitting on your boards and you're many years
when you
as
really,
the mayor?
really retire?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd probably say, well, good riddance for that big
pain
in the ass.
You can't be serious, for crying out loud. Pain in the ass.
What is one or a few of your things you're proudest of doing here on the island?
Well, I think the things I mentioned, the acquisition of the Mount House property, the acquisition of the Newton property, the approval of the state to allow us to put in a mooring field. Well, and actually, I would say from the legal standpoint, the drafting and the drafting of the comp plan, which got an award from the state as the best comp plan in the state at the time, and the drafting over 6 years of chapter by chapter of the LPA. Those were big accomplishments in my.
Is there anything that you would change looking back now and having the vision and the of hindsight?
No, I don't think so.
That's awesome. That is a great answer.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and telling us all about what's going on with you. We hope you're healthy for another 90 years, but please stop sitting on boards and things like that. Have some fun, for crying out loud.
Well, I think that is fun for you.
Well, I do, but right now with COVID, I can't have a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, Dan. Thanks so much for coming down all the way down here. We appreciate it, and we appreciate your daughter coming down and bringing you down. And look who showed up! One of your good friends there, John Cucciardi, is down here.
Great.
So you think Lalo would have showed up to?
Yeah.
Well, he did provide the fan.
Yeah, it's a $240 fan he spent for us here.
Thanks,
Dan Hughes, everybody.
Thank you
Longtime
so
mayor,
much.
and thank you so much for coming down. We really appreciate it. I don't know what you see. You didn't even need your book, Dan. You know everything right off the top of your head. Dan Hughes, everybody. I don't know how many years he's been the mayor, but he's on the LPA right now, and he's on the audit committee, and he's a super nice guy. He's the nicest guy.